Yeah, I know. It's corny, cliched and cheesy. But like it or not, that song, Hooray for Hollywood, whether you think it's a timeless celebration of thespian excellence or a schmaltzy piece of musical fairy floss, is being played right now by someone, somewhere in the world. Why this dated musical earworm? Because it's the unofficial theme song of the annual Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences Awards. Because today is Oscars Day. As we speak, the limos are firing up over in Los Angeles. The red carpet outside the Dolby Theatre in Beverly Hills has been steam cleaned within an inch of its life, in readiness for the hoofs of the movie stars. And the paparazzi is poised for the 96th Academy Awards. Some say the night will be a slugfest between a story about an atom bomb.
We imagine a future, and our imaginings horrify us.
And a small plastic doll with a penchant for pink.
Hey, Barbie. Can I come to your house tonight?
Sure. I don't have anything big planned, just a giant blowout party with all the Barbies and planned choreography and a bespoke song. You should stop by.
So cool.
You can find me under the lights, diamonds under my eyes.
This is the best day ever.
With the world watching, it wouldn't be the Oscars without a smattering of controversy. Take the streaker, who dropped collective jaws at the 1974 Academy Awards, running naked onto the stage just as British acting legend David Niven was set to hand out an Oscar.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was almost bound to happen. But isn't it fascinating to think that probably the only laugh that man will ever get in his life is by stripping off and showing his shortcomings.
Remember, just 2 years ago, the slap heard around the world between slapper, actor Will Smith, and slappy, comedian Chris Rock.
Uh-oh, Richard! Oh, wow! Wow! Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Despite these occasional hijinks, though, the long-winded speeches and fashion shockers, does any of this really matter in the end? Last year's televised ceremony was watched by 20 million people. A decade ago, it was more than double that. But others would argue that in times of doom and gloom, the Oscars are the exact sort of panacea we need right now. Will director Christopher Nolan's atomic epic and its 13 nominations blow everyone and everything away? Or will legendary director Martin Scorsese take the chocolates for his own harrowing Killers of the Flower Moon?
You know, you got nice color skin. What color would you say that is?
My color.
Everyone's really happy that cinema's back. 2 movies made $1 billion last year, Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Hannah Rose Yee is a film writer with Vogue Australia. There are plenty of indie films in the mix too.
We have a Best Picture field of 10 this year that has so much breadth in it. It's one of the best fields of movies we've had in this category in a recent memory. Some of them are stone-cold masterpieces. So I think that the fact that we have 2 films in there that made $1 billion, Barbie and Oppenheimer, that are commercial achievements and artistic achievements, plus we have smaller things in there like Past Lives, romantic dramas, Poor Things, which is the super, super, super weird drama with Emma Stone about feminist kind of sex identity discovery, coming of age. That movie's made $100 million. So we're now at this point where we can have small films make great box office, big movies have success at the Oscars. I think that's the perfect place for us to be.
So, will it be Oppenheimer's night?
This award is going to Christopher Nolan. There is no way he's not winning today. He has won at every other precursor award. This is his moment. He's only been nominated as Best Director one other time, which was for Dunkirk. Similar movie to Oppenheimer in a way, in that it's a step away from his more like big blockbuster kind of superhero Dark Knight or Inception style thrillers, and it's more of a traditional World War II drama. It's only his second Oscar nomination. He's probably one of the most famous directors in the world. He's someone who has name recognition as a filmmaker, and he's winning his Oscar today. I'm very happy for him. He made a great movie.
Logic would dictate then that the Best Actor Academy Award would, should, and must go to Cillian Murphy, who played the American theoretical physicist and father of the atomic bomb, J. Robert Oppenheimer, in Nolan's masterpiece.
And it's exciting, I think, that we don't know, because in the other categories we do know. Robert Downey Jr. is winning Best Supporting Actor, Da'Vine Joy Randolph is winning Best Supporting Actress, and in Best Actor, it's Cillian Murphy.
The race for Best Actress is perhaps an even greater guessing game.
It's going to come down to Emma Stone for Poor Things and Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon. Lily's this kind of critical darling in a film that prior to her involvement didn't center the Native American story as much. And when she came on board, she was able to really create this space for herself and for Native American voices within this larger narrative of murders within an Osage community. And her win in this category would be the first time a Native American actress has won in Best Actress. So I think it represents something very significant and powerful. On top of that, the performance is fantastic. It's full of very small gestures and a lot of quiet power and majesty. She's the kind of person where you watch her on screen, you just can't look at anything else. And this is a movie that has Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro in it. So it's quite a hard task, I think, to hold your own against those two.
But just hold your horses and beware, well, the dark horse here.
But then on the other side, Emma Stone is fantastic. Without spoiling the film, she kind of has to be a baby again within an adult body. And as a pure acting exercise, it's kind of extraordinary. And I think actors respond to her acting in it and what is asked of her very powerfully.
Coming up, what classic fashion or train wrecks might we expect to see on the famous Oscars red carpet? While I have you, a subscription to The Australian will guarantee you get the nation's most vibrant and insightful news, commentary and analysis around the clock, along with breaking news alerts direct to your phones, newsletters and details about special events. Check us out at theaustralian.com.au. We'll be back after this short break. Of course, the Oscars aren't just about rewarding actors, writers, directors, and technicians. It's about Hollywood stars, celebrities. Each year they stroll the red carpet, their apparel microscopically analysed. Vogue Australia's Jonah Waterhouse, always sartorially splendid, has some fashion predictions about today's Oscars and some warnings too.
We're going to be seeing a lot of extravagance this year, but people also love a reference. I think what's really interesting about fashion at the moment and red carpet style is there's a really big resurgence of vintage. I think a big trend that we've seen across fashion generally is that having the rarest kind of archival piece is a bit of a flex. Having the rarest dress, I mean, you can, of course, consult a designer to make you something brand new and incredible, but it's almost better and a bit more covetable to have a piece that's maybe from 20, 30 or even 50 years ago that nobody else has and nobody else can have access to. It's kind of just your piece.
As an awards ceremony, the Oscars are comparatively low-key in terms of experimental or deliberately shocking fashion. And there's a good reason for that.
I think people obviously tend to go for major amounts of flashiness and sparkle, but the interesting thing about the Oscars is it's not like other tentpole events that we see throughout the year, big fashion events like the Met Gala and the Grammys and things like that, where you can be a bit more loose and interesting with fashion. I think that people, when they win an Oscar, or if they're nominated for an Oscar, they understand that it's perhaps only going to happen to them once in their entire lives, and those photos are going to stick around forever. So they want to make sure that they're wearing something really classic and really timeless and not experimenting too much.
Which leaves us, or more precisely, Doris Day, with one last thing to say about this day, Oscars Day.
Go out and try your luck. You might be Donald Duck. Hooray for Hollywood.
Hannah Rose Yee and Jonah Waterhouse joined us from Vogue Australia. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese told King Charles that he is a compassionate and thoughtful friend of Australia who occupies a special place in the hearts of Australians in a letter sent to the monarch after his cancer diagnosis. Just one of a series of confidential correspondences from Albanese to the King, released exclusively to The Australian following a Freedom of Information request. Read this story and more now at theaustralian.com.au.